Hello and welcome back to Smug and Play, the YouTube show that's reliving PC gaming's greatest decade by playing through PC Gamer's iconic demo CD-ROMs month by month. If you haven't subscribed yet, you might as well go ahead and do that. We have arrived today at December of 1995, and it's kind of been a roller coaster year, wouldn't you say, Alan?
Yeah, there was that Batman movie with Jim Carrey, I'm gonna say. It's been a rough year, but
Yeah.
a good one. There was also GoldenEye, so we have to balance all
There's
these
some good things.
things.
Well, I was thinking more on the PC
Yeah.
gaming side of things.
Oh, is that what we covered?
Yeah, that's actually what the topic of the show is. So we had some all-time classics come out this year. We had Descent, Mechwarrior 2, Full Throttle. But this year's also notable for developers' continued obsession with FMV. And so we've seen some, once great franchises in PC gaming, like Wing Commander, go for FMV heavy installments that really haven't lived up to expectations in terms of player agency and the depth of missions and gameplay. Wing Commander 3 really doesn't compare very favorably to games like TIE Fighter, for instance, if you're looking at the complexity, intricacy of the missions. So once you get tired of seeing Malcolm McDowell and Mark
We
Hamill,
call him Fake Sting, Malcolm McDowell.
fake Sting
Here,
Malcolm McDowell. Well, when you get tired of the novelty of seeing Malcolm McDowell and Mark Hamill acting across from like a porn actress and somebody in a giant lion suit, there isn't that much substance there, and so
Yeah, I mean, and you're talking about sort of the best of the FMV content. There's a whole like long tail of FMV schlock
yes.
that came out this year that we've chronicled on this channel, but is not really consumable by humans. So I mean, Wing Commander was probably some of the best, and it did kind of like fall back
and
on
received
Mark Hamill.
excellent critical reviews during this time. But
and many people love it as well, Austin.
Okay, well,
it did fall back a bit on Mark Hamill, whereas like X-Wing and TIE Fighter are games that I enjoy a lot more to play. So what else? What else we got here? Descent, man, that was a great game.
Yeah.
Dark Forces, Full Throttle. A lot of these things we covered before we became a YouTube channel, so we'll have to do the same thing over and over again.
Right. Well, we don't have to. I think we can move on from it. I'm excited to move on from December of 1995. But I did want to spend, before we hop into the disc and see what PC Gamer has pooped onto the disc this month, I am a little bit upset with them because in the reviews and preview section of the magazine, we've seen some great stuff. We've seen Command and Conquer in there. We know that this month Warcraft 2 is coming out. But none of that stuff has shown up on the disc yet. We're still kind of getting the long tail of FMV games, as you said, stuff that was supposed to be on the disc months before. So I'm a little bit frustrated because I know that there's really great stuff in the pipe that just hasn't appeared in demo form.
I mean, this is sort of a holiday episode, I guess, because it's December. They probably had to get this to shelves early, like probably,
Yeah. I mean,
November or something.
Right, in print, obviously.
Yeah. In print in November, probably, that like end of November, they probably had to sell it. So I'm not surprised that they rushed to just fill a CD full of crap. So let's see what we got in the
let's spend some time here with Elle Magazine.
Elle Magazine now.
So, what we see in the magazine here is that this is, at the top they say it's the biggest issue ever. And indeed it is. Hundreds of pages. We have 337 pages here.
This is a thick boy with 2 C's.
Yeah, and at this point, it's become mostly advertisement, which is not necessarily bad because I would call the quality of their editorial inconsistent. But
I think this is going to be the best performing part of our channel now. Nostalgia is really what we deliver, and this is going to be exciting because this is a 300-page magazine that's probably 200 pages of ads.
Yeah,
From,
and I wanted to
yeah.
focus actually on the advertisements, on some specific advertisements that appeared in here that I found to be interesting. We should say the cover, which is also the cover of the CD this month. It says FIFA Soccer 96 here. That's actually an alien from Star Control 3. There's an exclusive preview of that in PC Gamer Magazine. Star
I
Control
guess
3.
I
Yeah.
think the designers and the writers never spoke
I
to each
don't.
other. I think.
And when they bumped things off the disc, remember last month they had Stonekeep on the cover of the disc, but the game wasn't on the disc. It shows up on this month's disc, so it's all just very confusing. But I wanted to go through a couple things because this is an important month because we're starting actually to exit the FMV era because there's a new thread developing in PC gaming, which is going to explode in the coming year. That's going to give us back a lot of the interactivity and deeper experiences that we've sort of lost in the FMV era, and that is 3D acceleration. And we've got a lot of players now in the market, and magazines like PC Gamer are starting to take note and give some impressions and some sort of consumer advice. So if we flip now to page like 23 here, I want to get to 23. We'll see that we now have an ad for Creative Labs 3D Blaster. So Creative, obviously the people behind the Sound Blaster, have a 3D accelerator card, and there's an article on it coming up later in the magazine.
Yeah, I think if you go back a page, they got a full spread too.
Yeah, it's a full spread here.
Oh.
Introducing 3D Blaster, the ultimate 3D gaming experience. Note where it says the PC 3D standard, and really standard is the problem we're going to have for the next few years. There are going to be a lot of people in the market, but there's not going to be a standard API for
Austin,
a while here.
If each one makes the standard,
that's right.
There's just a lot of standards.
Yes. Well, there's an old joke we used to say at Apple, and that is that we love standards so much we invented many of our own. So that's Creative's effort. If we pop over to page, what's it, 36 over here.
Oh, well, we should talk about this a little bit more because I was surprised on the 3D Blaster. You pointed out that it's a VLB board. So
yeah,
VLB was this bus that really existed only on 486
high-end 486 machines. Yeah,
and it was like kind of just like a very simple implementation where they would just throw your graphics onto the native 486 32-bit bus.
Yeah.
So it didn't last through Pentium because Pentium changed the bus to 64 bits. Everything changed.
Indeed, it did. It was an odd choice, and there's a later article on this. I want to talk a little bit more about that when we get to that article. I just want to show a few more funny ads, and then we'll talk about this more in depth because yes, the choice of VLB for this was strange and I think not the right one.
It's kind of like the wrong time, but I really like the Toyota Supra on that one.
Yes, that's very appealing. I mean, most appealing thing about the 3D Blaster.
It's more appealing than whatever is going on here. I just love how in this day, because all these games ran at like 320 by 200, they would have like all the screenshots be so small because if they blew it up, you would notice it would look horrible. They didn't have neural net upscaling back then.
Yeah, well, all of the boards at this time are sort of advertising that they can do 3D gaming at 640 by 480, but in reality, when you have texture mapping on and some of the other sort of important graphical features that differentiate the current generation of 3D games from the old games, these 3D accelerators, they just don't have the fill rate, and things start to fall apart. So here is the Diamond Edge 3D. This is NVIDIA's first graphics chip, the NV1. We talked about this in a previous episode, but it is now out on the market as well. They have a partnership with Sega, so they're getting some exclusive titles that are also appearing on the Sega Saturn, for instance, at this time, like Virtua Fighter Remix. That seems like an appealing sort of...
And I really like the premise for this ad,
We talked about this, yeah.
The good thing about nobody watching us is we can rehash it. I just love the your need for domination is extreme.
Yes. Well, so this is in the immediate sort of post Gulf War era. That's a like a stealth bomber, but appears to have dropped a nuclear weapon. I mean, if you look, the more you really think about 90s advertisement, the more horrible and disturbing it becomes. So I'm just trying to glide over that, although we won't glide over it entirely. I'm going to skip. Sierra Online took out a 12-page ad in this, talking about other games, and you may be interested in viewing this, viewer, if you're interested in Sierra Online of the time. It's done from the perspective of someone who was, like paid to review all of these games in a very short span of time. And, I think the subtext is he's going insane as he plays through all of Sierra's, currently on the shelf titles.
I like the fold where it's like Phantasma.
Yeah.
Scoria.
Yeah, this is really, it's basically like a how-to of not how to create effective advertisement. But if you want to subject yourself to all of that, then you can do that.
Are they like advertising brand loyalty here? I mean, like,
I guess so.
Front Page Sports is very different than Phantasmagoria.
In case you wonder where the Forte VFX1 is, here it is. Yes, virtual reality was kind of a thing. It didn't work the way that modern VR headsets did, but there is some degree of head tracking. Resolution is not what you would hope for, but this was an early, very expensive.
Right. How did these old ones work? I think it was they have like a shutter and they quickly like.
Yeah, I don't know
project an image.
I never owned a VFX one. It was really out of my price range. Yeah. But alternating shutter glasses were very common, just because it was simple to implement.
I just like all the products to like enhance your experience. Like a few pages down, there's like this like massage chair thing, but it says something like, "You just spent $5,000 for a PC. Why don't you spend a few more bucks to feel it too?"
Right, to feel it in your kidneys. I think that's
the
Aura. Is that the Aura Interactor? I had one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they clearanced them, and you could plug it into your Super Nintendo. And
does it just plug into the audio line or
it does,
something?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a gigantic subwoofer that you strap to your back and or your chest. I don't know why you really want to do that. I wanted to highlight this ad for Night Trap. Now, Night Trap was one of the games that sparked the Senate hearings on video game violence and inappropriate content in the 90s, led by Senator Joe Lieberman. Night Trap was not a successful title at the time that it was brought onto the Senate floor, but the Senate floor trial actually gave such publicity to it that it shot sales to the roof, and Night Trap sort of benefited from it. And they rode that sort of negative publicity. And I just wanted to read this this bit of ad copy here, because this is the best thing in the whole magazine. Some members of Congress tried to ban Night Trap for being sexist and offensive to women. Hey, they ought to know. Which is on the nose and amazing. The game's not that great. I have to say,
simultaneously, this is clearly the most clever advertisement in the magazine.
Yes.
But it's also just great how wrong it is. Like, it's like, they tried to shut us down for being bad, so that's good.
So that's good. No, everything bad is good. Don't you understand? It's 1995.
This is the 90s. I know.
This is the 90s. Okay, so I want to show the playing with power section over here. Not to be confused with Nintendo's playing with power or superpower advertisements, but when the Pentium 133 was first introduced, and that's the machine we're playing on today, for instance, when we go through the disc. It was incredibly expensive because the yields on it were terrible. Intel just could not get these things out the door operating at the spec voltage at 133 megahertz. But we're seeing things improve now to the point where you can get a whole gaming PC from NEC with a Pentium 133 for only $3,000, which is actually...
Well, it's funny we like criticize, but nowadays, now you can't get a computer, so
Right, you just
that's
can't buy any
you
parts,
just
period.
unless it's like an Intel
Yeah.
iGPU that you can have. So this is pretty awesome. I see there the Microsoft Sidewinder
Yeah, you get a
joystick. I love.
Sidewinder 3D Pro digital joystick. You get some Yamaha 10-watt speakers with a 25-watt subwoofer. Some good accessories. So an interesting thing about the specs on this is that it doesn't tell you what the brand or make or model of the graphics card is. It just says 64-bit PCI local bus graphics with 2 megabytes of video DRAM. Sounds a lot like an S3 Trio to me, if I had to guess. But what's interesting is that level of sort of a brand identity in the graphics card space hasn't come about yet. So when they advertise computers, even high-end computers, very frequently they don't indicate the exact card that's in there, and that's something that's going to change. There's going to be huge differentiation and the creation of brand identities within the graphics space. It's really starting now. We're just starting to see the Diamond Edge 3D,
It's
the
just
Creative
starting,
3D
but
Blaster.
it's already a mess. Like you showed the 3D Blaster VLB.
Yeah,
Now I had a 3D Blaster PCI,
right.
and these had completely different chips. They're not
Yes,
even related in any way
yes,
other
yes.
than the branding. So it's a mess. I mean, it's just who
Right.
knew what you were buying,
So
you know?
so so let's dig into that mess a little bit just for a minute here. And viewers, I hope you like the historical side of things. We will be playing some awful games on the December 95 disc very shortly, but I think this is really important context for what we're about to dive into. So
So besides Street Fighter, the movie, the video game, the movie, the video game, we
no,
have yes.
this is just regular Super Street Fighter 2. This
Oh,
is not the movie, the game, the movie, the game. On the left side here, Sound Blaster's 3D cousin. So we actually finally have an article about a 3D accelerator, specifically about Creative's 3D Blaster VLB, that talks about how it's essentially a pared down version of 3D Labs Glint 300SX CAD accelerator. So the lineage of this is not from games, but rather from computer-aided design, which is where a lot of the first 3D accelerators were for PC. But this has been tweaked specifically for gaming. But you see here, there's some interesting bits of detail here. So they're saying how many games will support the 3D Blaster directly. Over 200 developers have already signed on, among them Electronic Arts, Bullfrog, Interplay, Mindscape, Papyrus, Looking Glass. These are all great names here, right? So it sounds like PC Gamer is essentially giving their, signing off on or advocating for this particular card because of its developer support. And then they note in here that the first 3D Blaster is designed for base and local bus, but they're going to follow up with PCI versions that will be available in early '96. But what's happening is that this market is developing so quickly, and there's so much technological upheaval that by the time they get to making the PCI version, this chip from 3D Labs is already completely obsolete and irrelevant, and they throw it out and they throw in Rendition's Verite for the PCI version. So
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I bought this VLB card, what good would it do for me?
yeah, what good would
Probably
it do for
very
you?
little.
Well, so the problem is that you already don't have a very high spec PC at this point, right? Like the only thing this will go into is a 486, and Pentiums have been out for quite some time at 133 megahertz now, somewhat affordably. So you already don't really have the gaming machines. This will help the performance of that, but the real problem here is software support. So over 200 developers have signed on, says this article, PC Gamer, December 95. How many games are ultimately provide support for 3D Blaster VLB? Do you know?
I don't even know if it's two. It's probably like one.
Okay, ultimately
I don't know.
13 games
Oh, okay.
support this card.
You blew me away. You
Now,
blew me away on.
6 of those games are bundled with it. So,
Okay.
Your investment here lasted a few months, and that was the price to play in this era.
I'm just wondering if it's one of those cards where for everything else it has some like terrible Cirrus Logic chip for DOS.
Oh,
Something like that, you know.
I think
Who
I'm trying
really
to
knows?
remember. Yeah, so NV1 actually has quite good 2D acceleration. So if you bought the Diamond Edge 3D with NVIDIA's first chip, even though like the 3D side of things didn't really work out, apart from some Sega titles that were quite good, you at least had a good Windows accelerator, a good GUI accelerator. I'm trying to remember if this even has 2D or if it uses pass through. I'm sure it's in the article here, but I don't know. Obviously, I never had one of these.
I guess I'm just
VLB.
wondering what DOS performance will look like. You know,
Probably not good.
at the end of the day, the Sang ET4000 is like still the best unaccelerated.
The ET6000.
ET whatever ET something thousand.
Yes. We can talk about it. I think the best is actually the Voodoo 3. Voodoo 3 is the fastest.
A bit later.
Yes, it's the fastest for unaccelerated like software video.
Interesting.
There are websites where you can go look at this. It almost kind of doesn't matter. For our Brain Dead 13 fans out there, one of our most popular videos, I did want to show that there is a Brain Dead 13 advertisement in this magazine.
Whoa, is that the box?
I know. It looks like, I don't know what kind of box. It's like the sort of thing fireworks come in. Yeah, quite.
They really didn't optimize for the shelf space.
Well, I mean, if it's going to be stacked next to like the shampoo or something, then it kind of optimizes shelf space. But this was that era where people made boxes that made retailers go crazy. You know, like Marathon for Mac came in like that pyramid, and it was a great time, a wonderful time.
All right.
So let's see. What gets editor's choice this month? Just real quick.
A lot of things. I mean, there are a lot of reviews.
Everything, yeah. But Crusader No Remorse. We haven't seen this on the disc yet either, but this is an isometric sort of puzzle action game that uses the engine from Ultima 8 Pagan. Ultima 8 was sort of known as being the worst Ultima game. It basically ended the series, with the exception of online. But they were able to reuse the engine from that in a different context, and this is actually quite a fun game. I hope we get to play this on disc soon, but it took home a 93%. There are a few other ones. I want to make a note here before we actually go and play this game that Fury3 does not get editor's choice.
And I thought, thumbed through the magazine. I thought that was because they didn't buy an ad, but they did in fact buy an ad with a lot of really trashy looking leet speak. Like it's all like capital, small capital, small like.
I know.
It's a terrible ad, and Microsoft also took an ad out for Flight Simulator. So I don't know what went wrong here, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that was the deal.
Shame.
You take out the ads, you get the editor's choice award. But I mean, even PC Gamer couldn't overlook the fact that it was a warmed up re-release of Terminal Velocity.
That does seem to be a problem. I mean, they should have a conditional rating. Like, if you've never played Terminal Velocity, maybe it is a editor's choice.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah. They should have conditionally given it editor's choice, right?
Or at least an 80... editor's choice goes down to, what, 88? I'm going to say they could have.
Is there actually a numeric cutoff for editor's choice?
There actually is. It's explained. You didn't read.
They used to change They used to change all of that every month, though. They used to have.
It's just like your favorite high school teacher who set the A- cutoff to 88 or something like that.
I just want to tell everyone I'm excited for Ghost Bear's Legacy coming out.
Yeah.
The universe is expanding. This is going to be great. Comes with NetMech.
Wait, we're touching on good computer games in this.
Occasionally we do that. I was excited to see the Ghost Bear's Legacy expansion advertised in here. So
I thought you were just going to talk to me about Software Outlet in their adult section, but all right, we'll move on.
We're going to skip that. I think it's time that we moved on and play some of these timeless classics that have appeared on the disc. So as you know. The gimmick of the show is that we play through PC Gamer's CD-ROMs on period correct hardware. So I'm going to flip this around here and get this going. So going to boot up. Now there's been change since last time, and that is that we're now running Windows 95. And those among you who are sharp-eyed will probably note that I'm running OSR 2.5, which I regret immensely, because the Microsoft Internet Explorer file browsing integration is atrocious.
It's basically 98.
Yeah, it's like a worse 98. It's missing a number of quality of life improvements of 98, unfortunately. But here we go. So let's load up the old PC Gamer and see what we got. We don't have auto run yet, but it does work, which is nice. So let's get PCG going. My God.
Yeah, so it has to be an even older version of IE than
It's IE4 actually. Which was not known as a great IE release. So I apologize for that, everyone. But we are running Windows 95 now, because that seems appropriate. It's been out for a little while. And my experience with it thus far has been okay. So let's see what we got. We got FIFA 96 from EA.
Good year, I guess.
For your footy lovers. We have Beavis and Butthead. The kind of late night MTV cartoon by, I believe, Mike Judge, who would go on to make King of the Hill. Am I right about these things?
Yeah, it's sort of the only Mike Judge work that I'm not fully on board with, so you're going to have to...
It's not your favorite. Not your favorite Mike Judge. We have the
I like everything else he's done.
You like everything else. We have the aforementioned Fury3, which is basically terminal velocity.
We should point out the controversy here, because...
The controversy? Well, what's the controversy?
Is it Fury to the third power or Fury 3?
Gosh, I don't know. I've always called it Fury 3. It gets rendered
in both things. I believe on the CD, the sleeve says that it's Fury to the third power.
Fury to the third. They couldn't figure out how to do superscript. It is Fury to the third power. It's never, it's never going to focus.
Confirmation right there.
But yeah, it is on the sleeve, but they couldn't figure out superscript.
I mean, there was no Fury 1 or 2, so everything is in question.
Right. But yeah, we're actually going to play that. We have Interplay's Stonekeep, which is a what? I'm excited to play this. You know why? Executive producer Brian Fargo, right? Creator of Wasteland, go on to work on the Fallout games and then the later Wasteland releases. And I think this game has its charms. It has some sort of mechanical issues, but it's charming.
We'll see. I read the Wikipedia, and it's like when the Wikipedia is a book, it's 10 pages long, and then you look at the game. It gives a signal. So we'll
somebody loved it. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so. Now we have the Riddle of Master of Lu, which I believe is I want to say that's a Ripley's Believe It or Not game. And I didn't play that back in the day, but here it is. So I know some people are a fan of those, but I haven't. 3 table sports, looks like shuffle puck.
We call it air hockey over here.
Yeah.
Ultra 3D pinball.
Ultra 3D
This must have been in Sierra 10 page or 12 page
12 page spread. Wow. Yeah, this is probably in there. One of those games they subjected that faux reviewer to. We have Screamer, which I was very confused because the sleeve actually says Screamers, plural. But no, it's Screamer. And I played this. This is actually quite impressive, and I'm excited to show it to you. I'm excited to show you what happens when you try to run it under Windows. It's funny, actually, what happens when you try to run it under Windows. We have unnecessary roughness.
It needs to go direct bare to the metal hardware.
Yes, this is a bare metal coated 3D game that was designed for one spec, and it runs well on that spec, and everything else is a disaster. My least favorite football game title. It doesn't.
It has unnecessary in the first word, so I think we can pass it.
Unnecessary roughness. I hate games where they take some terminology from the sports rule book. In this case, they chose the one with the most letters. It hardly fits in this box here. We have Dagger's Rage. Looks like a side-scrolling shooter. What is this? It's an arcade shooting game of some sort. Okay. It looks like it should be.
Kind of goes back to the do guns kill people or people kill people thing. The dagger has the rage here. All right.
Yes, it's the dagger's fault. Battleground Ardennes. This is a Trotter game. This is one of the games that Mr. Trotter would talk about, I guess, in the magazine. And
we're almost to real-time strategy, but we're still in this.
Well,
turn-based.
The Grognards are going to hold on to the abstract presentation, super deep, 5-hour-long turns war games for forever. So
that's why we have board games. All right.
That's why we have board games. Chrono Master.
What? Chrono. All right.
Okay. I didn't really read too much about that one. Indoor Fun is.
I like how they're telling you exactly what they're targeting here with this game. Okay.
Yes. It releases Indoor Funs. Unusual puzzle game includes feel-good messages. Okay.
Now I'm concerned.
Power of positive thought brought to gaming?
All right.
We're not going to play that one either, I'm afraid. Entombed. Looks like an adventure game of some sort. Mist-like, that was what I was thinking. It's dark in that tomb, so your first task would be to turn on the lights. Well, that's an exciting premise.
Yeah. The thing about games like Indoor Fun and Entombed here is, it didn't take too much to make us excited back then. Actually, one of the things in the magazine that you didn't mention was Monopoly got editor's choice.
Oh.
I was like, I actually had that version of Monopoly.
Didn't it come on the front of a cereal box at some point? Was that
that might have been how it was released, but I actually played this one because I got like a supposed to be like a
Yahtzee.
Hasbro Mastermind. No,
it was Mastermind. Yeah,
but it was actually pressed with that Monopoly game. And it's a really good Monopoly game.
It is. So. It has a lot of animation. It's very it's very lively as a board game adaptation.
Didn't take too much to excite us back then. Portrait of an Assassin.
This looks like another one of those that remember that game engine they keep on promoting in here. Remember that one we played with like the weird Soviet like aesthetic and the giant insects that kept on killing me? This looks like something made with that.
Dude,
that
that's
game
like every
studio.
game from 1995. The first-person insect fighter. Come on.
Josephine's a convicted killer hired by an obscure branch of the CIA. Obscure branch? To take out dangerous individuals. She's not taking them out to lunch.
Or are they dangerous?
That's what they're trying to tell you.
Oh.
Or are they dangerous?
Dilemma.
Oh boy, there's moral ambiguity in this game. Well, it's got some textured ceilings. That's interesting. So it's slightly a step above Wolfenstein technology, but something. Of course, there's the classic Abuse by Crack.com. Can't forget a name like that. This was, I think, originally an Amiga game. Is that the case? It is a side-scrolling action game. Platform shooting game, much in the tradition of Blackthorn and Flashback. Blackthorn and Flashback, I guess they are closer than I would give them credit for. Flashback is very European, Prince of Persia sort of clunky controls, platforming action. Blackthorn is a little bit smoother controlling, but it is actually, Blackthorn very much takes its cues from those other European action platformers like Flashback. We have American Online.
Yeah, well, we finally have Windows, so
That's right. Hey, we can finally.
AOL.
I already have AOL installed though, so I don't need whatever this version. It came on the OSR 2.5 disc, so.
Oh, that's so nice.
I know we're set up. Okay, what do you want to play first? I'll let you pick, but you can only pick from the 4 titles that we already talked about before the show. You can have Beavis and Butthead, Fury3, Stonekeep, or Screamer.
We'll go in order.
You want to go Beavis and Butthead first?
Sure.
Okay. Now, this is the era when we don't really need to install too much. Pretty much everything plays off of the CD-ROM itself.
Did your color palette already get
Okay, so
down?
here's the interesting thing. I'm 256 color mode. Whenever I bring forward the file browser, it changes the palette on me because it's IE4. This is part of why
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry that I installed IE4.
I told you. We had a whole episode, I think, where we concluded that the OSR release is the best release, Windows 95.
What, you mean the RTM release? Or the...
If you don't have anything that needs drivers,
RTM is the best, is what you were trying to say. You said
Sorry,
OSR.
what did I say?
You said OSR.
I meant RTM.
You meant RTM.
Sorry. My brain...
It's fine.
Brain
it's going to be fine. We actually don't need this at all because it's a Windows executable or whatever.
What is it? Just wait. Something cool's going to happen.
Yep, we're going to break the 4th wall immediately. I mean,
Beavis and Butthead are not role models. Not even human. They're cartoons. Some of the things they do would cause a person to get hurt, expelled, arrested, possibly deported. To put it another way, don't try this at home.
Possibly deported. The main good thing about this sort of game is you know that it was only made in a few weeks. So that's like that's a plus going for it. That's I think that's going to be the problem with our next
you don't think that
game.
Viacom Interactive poured money into this? A lot of these were big budget things.
Double World Buster, fries, and 128-ounce cola.
This is all
I'm
important.
pretty sure that without videos, a playthrough of this game is probably like 10 minutes, you know? The full version.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Will be the French fries.
So,
Whoa. Where the hell's my food, man?
so
I'm gonna give you a lesson in customer service.
your appreciation of this game hinges on your enjoyment of Beavis and Butthead, the television show. If you do not appreciate the humor in that, you're not going to appreciate this at all. So now we're...
started, people.
Hold still, damn it! Beavis?
So is that Daria in the background?
Oh, yeah.
Is she spun out of
Could be.
this?
She looks like it.
Okay, so... Okay, this is Todd who just beat them up in the, at the fast food joint.
No way, dumbass. I just don't want wussies to watch. We should, go and, hang out with Todd.
Yeah, so the premise of this demo is that they want to hang out with Todd, who just beat them up, because Todd is clearly cool and they are not, and they feel that they can benefit from association with this Todd. And so we start here in science class, and we can talk a little bit. So we have the verb coin interface, very Full Throttle inspired here. So it's actually quite playable. We can go and select a verb and talk. They walk horribly slow. Then we have to select if you want Beavis or Butthead to talk to them. Butthead is a bit more of a conversationalist, if you remember the show.
What are you doing?
I've created a program to translate the sound patterns of a chimpanzee into human speech.
Like dirty monkey words?
I hardly think so.
Okay, but anyway, we're just going to skip on ahead here. So what you need is you get the pass.
You're coming with me.
And then you can use the hall pass on the teacher here to get it excused.
We have to, go to the bathroom bathroom or something? Yeah.
Well, all right, but I wish you boys would clean up your act.
Don't worry. We'll wipe.
Again, your enjoyment of this game hinges entirely on your appreciation of the humor of the show, because that's exactly what's here. I mean, so from that perspective, like it's perfect. If you're a fan, then it's the perfect game. I wish the walk speed were a bit faster. So I think we need to get some chewing gum from the fountain here. So you didn't watch Beavis and Butthead back in the day on MTV?
I don't think my parents would have allowed that sort of thing.
That's why I watched it at my friend's house. Yeah. I think, and now what we're gonna do. We're gonna go. Did I get something? I don't know if I successfully got anything.
I wonder what this stuff tastes like. Whoa. Hey, that was cool. Dumbass.
Okay, I don't know how much of this I can take, but maybe we'll do this next part. Just fine. I think what we want to do is we want to get to this ladder up here. I think we need to. I think we use the U's. And Butthead goes up on the springboard. And then from here, I think I hop to the pommel. And then I think I jump back to the springboard.
Yeah.
Gilweed, don't leave me here. Get up and help. Dumbass.
So, if we go onto the roof, I believe we can play the Hockaloogie minigame, which is actually a separate executable on the disc, so that you can play it outside the context of the main game, because that's the selling point. Get the stick. Right. Get the stick.
Beavis, pick that damn stick up.
Now, as you can imagine, we're going to take the stick.
Okay.
And we're going to put the stick in the fan, because
Check it out, buddy.
of course you would do
This
that.
is my wood. No way. That's like twice as much big as it is, or something. Let me show you.
Okay. So I think if we click on the side here.
Whoa. There's McDicker. He's close enough to, like, hit with a loogie. I could hit him with a loogie, but you're such a wuss, you never could. No, wait, butthead. You're the wuss. Yeah, whatever, butt munch.
Okay, what do we have to do here to start the loogie? Okay, we're now on a separate loogie executable.
Loogies roll.
I don't think I can.
Look, a squirrel.
Okay, so I can change
there
my
you go.
I can change my distance by how long I hold. I don't know how you would hit one of those. Oh, I almost got the squirrel. This is harder than it looks, folks.
You're never gonna make it in life.
I know, I'm not.
Do movies.
I get up. Oh my god.
Oh.
Look, a squirrel. Who's there?
Yeah, I got the principle.
Look, a squirrel.
So supposedly, like every 10 loogies or so, you get like a green super loogie, or at least it's. Oh, at least that's what it is in the commercial release. Oh no, I'm terrible at this. I'm good at getting him. Ah, that squirrel. He's toying with me. Okay. Oh, did I get?
Champion or something.
Did I get the squirrel? I think I got the squirrel.
You're like the loogie champion or something.
Okay, getting better. Getting better. I missed him. Okay. Anyway. That's Beavis and Butthead, folks. Oh, we can't go full screen. That's cool. It's
at the end,
it's an adventure
decides.
game with all the color of Beavis and Butthead. So, for more information, visit your local software retailer. Support local software retailers. 25 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say which one.
Walden Soft or Electronics Boutique. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
It's funny how the humor overlaps 90% with Silicon Valley, but the other 10% means
Not at all.
something to me.
I skipped a lot of the really homophobic dialogue in the hopes of not getting our channel canceled. So that is what it is. It is a very good encapsulation of the show, I will say. Do we want to do... what do you want to do next?
I want to do Stonekeep. I think it's a good contrast, because as you mentioned, they're both high budget, but Stonekeep took 5 years. It was sort of the Duke Nukem Forever of its day.
Yeah, Stonekeep. So. Interestingly, Stonekeep cost $5 million to make. Right, it was a huge investment.
It took 5 years. Each year's $1 million.
Yeah, well, so
kind of how it works.
So what you're about to see, this is very interesting, I think. If you've watched 80s sort of adventure movie schlock, like The Never-Ending Story or Labyrinth, it's going to prepare you well for Stonekeep. It's a B-movie sort of role-playing game, and it seems somewhat self-aware to me. It seems like it knows that it's kitschy and schlocky, and that makes it a lot more appealing. And I think that the presentation also is quite impressive.
Yeah, I was gonna put this in a much simpler way of saying, which is prepare for sweaty, half-naked people composited onto pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yes.
That's basically what you should be.
In fact, you're going to see that in about 1 second when I say I don't want to register right now. That's what you're getting.
Register a demo.
I know. I'm confused by that. Is there a warranty? Usually you don't do that. Exec producer Brian Fargo. Here we go. Here's $5 million, folks. You decide if it was well spent.
Thanks, my lady.
Some extreme apple catching going on. All right, here he is. That's what you wanted. That's what you came here for. This is our title card. This is going to have to be our title card for the episode.
Might it be this one? Perhaps it's this one. Hey! I think she loves me.
The dog is the best
terrible
part.
dragon! I slay thee in the name of fair
PETA's like,
Poor dog.
no! Oh, it's just...
Dog's like, what is this green screen you made me act
I thought I was
of?
in a dog food commercial. What the hell is this? What did my agent talk me into this time? There we go.
But I like that it's a cute, fluffy family dog and not a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, there he is. Oh, we just...
Oh, that was $1 million right there.
Yeah, I know. James Cameron, eat your heart out. All right, here's Bale from Lord of Destruction. God, I can't wait for when we can finally just play Diablo on this show. How long is it gonna take? We're so close. 1995. Okay, so Drake, not that Drake, but the little boy, that's our protagonist.
There's no Hotline Bling.
No, you're thinking of the wrong Drake. This is pre that. Although he is a soldier boy
budget Ewan McGregor.
I was gonna say budget Orlando Bloom, but
Oh, okay, all right, you got it right.
budget Ewan McGregor. It's true. I love this whole sequence though. This is very 80s schlocky adventure movie.
I am Farah, goddess of Earth. Prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself.
You must descend to the lost city of Stonekeep and retrieve the 9 receptacles. To protect you from the magic of the darker realm, I must free your spirit from the confines of your body. Achieve your goal and
Whoa, we just met. I don't know.
free. Fail, and you shall be entombed by the forces of darkness forever.
You'll have to play Entombed, which is also on this CD. I mean, you see the 5 million here, right? Right, guys? Stonekeep, where the demons dwell, where the fairies live, and they do live well. Stonekeep.
Take this artifact to aid your quest.
All right.
It's like the dungeon of Trump's house.
This is the basement of Mar-a-Lago.
Whatever you may find.
I love doing our show. Isn't it fun? Okay, so let me introduce you to the mechanics of Stonekeep here. First of all, I'm going to make sure our let's get up our brightness. This is going to help a little. We got some gamma issues here. So many RPG games have like a doll that you use to put equipment on, things like that. This has that, and look at it, you get extreme close-ups, and you can choose which hand to put it in. It's kind of fun to play with by itself. This little scroll here is our inventory. So our left and right hands are mapped to the left and right mouse buttons. It's all very intuitive. So if I hit my left mouse button, I punch these bones and they shatter.
With your
and I give them a little to the left, a little to the right.
Little
yeah.
Little hand. Okay.
Okay, so then it's a grid-based first-person dungeon crawler with look at these pudding physics. Look at how that pudding spreads.
Oh wow!
Right, and now I got a rock. So
that's
sometimes
$5 million right there.
Sometimes pudding has rocks, and sometimes it doesn't. But there's a lot of pudding, all sorts of pudding that we can punch, producing rocks. Now we have 2 rocks, which are useful for throwing. So she'll talk to us again.
Cool minions. Arm yourself quickly.
I hear this is where they got the idea for Cortana.
Or the what is it in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time? Navi, yeah, sort of like that. Okay, so we punch some more poo down here.
Pudding punch in action.
Now look, so the protagonist reads things in the environment, which I think is actually a cool touch.
Guard room.
It's the guard room. Oh shoot. Okay, there are these
I
spiders.
told you, every game of this era has first-person spider punch.
Yeah, this first-person spider punch. We won't have to punch spiders too much longer though, because first of all, we can stock up on these skulls, which is great. There's a treasure chest there, obviously. We got a little bit of clothing. We can slap on our doll. I actually think the interface is quite nice. It's very playable. I didn't really need a lengthy introduction. I pick up a dagger. I decide if I wanted my left or my right hand. And I go back over here. I add a scroll. I don't know what this does. And then when it's empty, it closes. I mean, it's intuitive design, folks. Like, I appreciate what they did here. And visually it's not unappealing. If it is a bit monotone, as you said, looks like Trump's unfinished basement. And now we're armed, so we've got there's more pudding. Pudding. I also kind of like the FM. Is something biting me? Sometimes things are biting me and I don't know it. Okay, that's where we're ultimately going, but I'm gonna check. Oh, we got more rocks. Oh, something. What is it? Oh, another one. Oh, see, now we can dual wheel. Check this out. Well, again, a little left and a little to the right. This is totally serviceable game. Now, I found a secret here too, but I don't think it's in the later section. So obviously, what I was going to say about this game is that it's a charming, schlocky 80s adventure B-movie beneath which beats the heart of a thoroughly mediocre first-person dungeon crawler. And the battle system has no real depth to it, but I don't think that's the appeal of a game like this. It's all in the presentation and the B-movie charm. Speaking of which, here's one.
Is this the best you can do? This mortal is not worth my time.
Budget Jabba.
Do not gloat.
Budget Jabba.
My champion will defeat you.
Your imprisonment is the start. You have escaped me once. You shall not escape me again. I have you now, and I will find the
Budget James Earl Jones.
Where's the... Doesn't have an arm.
Yeah, some sort of ethereal being. Just the gauntlets just sort of float.
Mortal, know that your soul is still your own by
Now he's switched to Darth Vader.
Yeah, it's budget James Earl Jones. That's what we're talking about.
Know that we shall meet again.
Okay.
Tread lightly until then.
Okay, so the foreshadowing's not subtle. Boom. And we got some more bones to punch. Yes. Bone punching. Okay, so I had a bit of trouble in this section because I came across a keyhole in the wall, and I had no idea where to find the key. I did not check the FAQ, but I did find something interesting on one of these walls. I don't know if it's going to be, maybe it was random. I don't know. But I found a secret at one point. There was a place that you could touch on the wall. Oh, here we go. Get ready for it. Wow.
Doing anything?
I'm not getting in many hits here. I don't know why. I think... Oh, the door was closed. That was not so great. But look at this.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so we can do a little upgrade here. And what's this? Oh, there's the key I was looking for. Excellent. Is there anything else? Anything else we can loot? What has he got? Oh, this is food. So it's like some sort of beef jerky. You put it in your mouth. That helps because I think we took some hits there. Oh, there's something else here. What's this? Oh, more skulls. Too many skulls. I don't really know what to do with those. Anyway, impressions, Alan?
I mean, it's alright. I just,
there's something else.
Probably not the best dungeon crawler. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, so Ultima Underworld, this ain't. And
well, this is my thing, right? Like, clearly, when Ultima came out, they started planning this thing, and then they just couldn't get their act together, and then it went from Ultima, and then it probably became like a Myst-like thing, and then by the time they actually got around to release it, they figured, oh, we have to have F&B now. It's just any sort of game which goes through these levels of delays.
You don't think this was planned as an F&B fest from the very beginning? It doesn't strike you as that?
What I read is the first versions that they were trying to build were for the 386. So no.
Yeah, that would have been a challenge here. All right, look, now we've got real equip. So we've got the ability to block. I mean, I think the design is accessible, and it's charming. I keep on using that word, and I don't mean to damn it with faint praise, but I could see how someone could have played this, not having the expectations that it would have the depth of an Ultima Underworld and be plenty appreciative of it. Do we need to play anymore? I think everyone gets it. We're out of keys.
It's all right. I mean, Interplay says they sold 300,000 copies over 3 years, but I think that's mostly to save face in some way. Like, there's no way they were going to make back $5 million.
Yes, that's kind of a lot. I think that's what they thought, that the table stakes for 1995 was FMV in addition to some sort of atmospheric and I guess 3D-esque like gameplay experience. So, more food for me. Okay, we're back at full health. Excellent. Okay, so I'm probably gonna say that. Oh boy.
Spider fighting. Oh, you can't sword the spider.
Oh, it's too high. I have to hit him with my fist. What if he's right up on front of me? Oh, when he's up in my face, I can get him. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's a little bit more effort.
I almost thought you were gonna die from a spider.
Well, it might happen. Longtime viewers of the show will know that I'm not particularly good at this, especially when I'm playing through the capture card. Anyway, I like it has dynamic music too. The theme kind of builds and decays as the action on screen heats up or cools down. So I think it's kind of neat. I mean, it's schlock. It's not deep. It's not gonna have
the frantic appeal. Keyboard cat is going crazy.
It reminds me a little bit actually of the music in other Interplay games. It reminds me a little bit of Star Trek 25th Anniversary as well. Anyway, that's Stonekeep. I think it's a contender for Pick of the Disc, our coveted Pick of the Disc award.
All right. I mean, I wasn't too keen on the Beavis and Butthead, so we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Me neither, unfortunately. I'm afraid I grew up. What else do we have?
Let's do the racing game.
No, can we do that last? Because I have to boot into DOS mode.
Okay.
Can we do Fury to the third?
I guess it's to the third because it's 3D. Oh wait, 3x. Like that's a different function entirely.
Yeah, I don't know what's going here. That's right.
Sounds very similar to the terminal velocity music.
It does sound very similar to terminal velocity. Now, for those who are concerned about our graphics options, we are at high detail, high quality, and high texture detail of a normal degree level with showing sky textures. So this is the trial version, but we do get some niceties in the trial version of this that we wouldn't normally get from terminal velocity shareware version. I think we get the higher quality textures and things like that. So it does actually look a little bit better than that terminal velocity demo that we played before. So, but the big thing here is this is Microsoft's big marketing play. This is Microsoft trying to show the world that Windows 95 is a legitimate gaming platform, just as legitimate as PlayStation and Saturn.
Yeah, but they didn't have Direct 3D yet, so...
Right, but we don't actually have any... There's no actual benefit to building your game for Windows yet, because we don't actually have high-level APIs for gaming that are useful, but not yet. It's coming. They're working on it.
But they want to show somebody could do it.
Right.
And Terminal Reality were very good programmers, so Mark Randall
so
probably put this together in a few days.
So let's play a little.
Check the difficulties, because it's
Furious. Furiosa. All right, let's go.
This is the whole story, basically, right here.
Yeah, so that's why
you are Terran's. Terran's good. Bion's bad.
Terran's good, Bion's bad. I think there have been a few sort of quality of life improvements here with the range and the map.
Yeah, well, there are objectives now, so like terminal velocity.
Yeah. So
I don't know if it was just the same every time, but here they tell you what to do, which almost is the same every time, just blow up stuff.
Mostly the same, but so you can see our distance to target rapidly decreasing here. And then once we defeat whatever this thing is, we will get a chance to move on to our next target. And some of these things look quite nice, the texture mapping. This is all software, and we're running this on Pentium 133 Matrox Millennium PCI graphics card. This is pretty top of the line for 1995. Fury3 runs just fine. Even here, we're in windowed mode here, but it doesn't really make any difference. I'm just gonna say.
Do you have any idea how hard it was to convert this? Like, the graphics library that they had was called Pentium. I don't know if you could write to the frame buffer.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can just blit.
That's a lot of blitting to do, but
it is, and yet I guess the overhead's low enough that we still get pretty good performance. Like I recall playing this on that 5x86, 486 clone machine that we had, and being pleasantly.
Don't speak ill of the AM5X86 or whatever it is.
It's just the marketing of that I take.
The 133
I take exception to the 133 aspect because it wasn't true. I'm gonna hit a little bit here. But anyway, yeah, it's the same old terminal velocity you loved. Now, ever so slightly improved and playable in a windowed environment.
And new levels over terminal velocity. I mean, it's a selling point there. It's a fun game.
There are selling points.
I spent a lot of time playing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the big thing is that this had much wider distribution than terminal velocity did. Microsoft selling this under their Microsoft home brand, along with things like Encarta. You would actually see this in a store. Oh boy, took a little there. Took a little.
And
it looks good.
The Windows 95 had its pluses. You literally could just install it and play.
Oh yeah, and like no configuration, and it's nice actually to be able to configure the settings, the controls. If you have a Sidewinder 3D joystick or something like that, it's really nice to be able to configure it in Windows. What power up do you suppose this is? Servokinetic lasers. Servokinetic. That's a lot of words for just being able to shoot two at the same time. Alright, our next target's rather far away. Anyway, isn't it pleasant? We have this vaguely ethnic music. The texture mapping looks good. It plays fine. We're not even in full screen. I guess we could go full screen here. I think it's, what, F4? I don't think it actually plays any better in full screen.
Go into the clouds. That's what I did with my time.
Yeah.
Straight up.
But anyway, I mean, what do you think, Alan? Has the era of Windows gaming arrived here with Fury3? Have we actually managed to do something that we said we were setting out to do when we first started doing this show? That we're going to talk about the Windows 9X gaming scene?
It's a good first. I mean, it didn't get everybody onto Windows 95. So the games that we remember from 96, like Quake and stuff, still came out for DOS first, but they were pretty quickly windowized for people who had too much RAM and CPU. Whoa.
Cannot save enemy. Is that a program error? Did I do something wrong? I'm confused, Microsoft. Bill, where's Bill? Where's my phone?
Where is Bill?
Bill.
Jeez.
Bill, is this right, Bill? Well, that was an odd Into My Play session. Okay.
How dare you save the enemy?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't mean to offend anybody. Anyway, there's Fury3.
That's pretty nice.
Fury
What is the
3.
bat file for? That's weird.
I think that's if you have to. Well, this is what the PC game CD runs if you try to run it through their interface. But there's some other stuff on here if you want to play this game, because I think this actually does work in Windows 3.1.
Oh, and it comes with help? Thank you, Microsoft.
Oh, yeah, man.
Great.
Yeah. Look at this. Tips and troubleshooting, customizing, showing power. Look at these topics. It's great, man. This is the future. And by the future, I mean this is a nice approximation of what Apple had in 1991 with System 7.
This is a great vision of 1995 to 1996.
Yeah, but it builds from here. This is exciting. So let's do our last game. So Screamer, which is obviously intended to run in real DOS, behaves very interestingly if you try to run it in Windows. Okay. I'll show you what happens here just for your own enjoyment.
Full screen. Let's do it. Yeah.
This is not what's supposed to happen.
Whoa.
But this is giving you an idea of the sort of compatibility issues that you might encounter with certain DOS games that are really coded to the metal. You also notice that there's no road, and that everyone moves in a straight line, and that's it, and you can't do anything. So it's playing this in Windows. The game is not quite as enjoyable as it is playing it in DOS. Now, so
P10.
But
good job.
You can imagine being a kid and being like, "Well, this game sucks." It's just because it has some major incompatibilities with Windows. So this is something that people in this era would have to deal with. Not every DOS game plays well with Windows 95. So if we go in here and we now restart into MS-DOS mode, we'll get a very different experience. Screamer. And let's see. So here the F1 changes our view. Up. Okay, up is gas, brake is space. Yeah. Now this is different, right?
Yeah, now it's starting to look like Daytona. Graffiti production. So Graffiti is a development team out of Italy.
Oh, really?
They know something about fast cars over there, apparently.
Yeah, I know a thing or two about unlicensed vehicles over there.
Unlicensed F40s?
Yeah.
That's not what that looks like at all.
Lambos and... Listen. Anyway, this is quite an impressive game.
Oh wow, that plane just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean we've got polygonal graphics. I mean the backgrounds look fairly polygonal. The controls are responsive. It's very arcadey, which is there's no problem with that really. It's not so much of a simulation game, but like the sense of speed is great. The models are great. Texture mapping is great. I'm just gonna say it's great. It's just kind of great. I don't really have anything bad to say about this. I think would there later be 3D accelerated versions of this? Because the big improvement would be run this at 640 by 480, and also for me not to crash into all of the things on the side of the screen. But like super impressive presentation-wise.
Yeah.
This is all just software rendering. I mean, but this is at least as good as like Ridge Racer on PlayStation, which would be this era as well. So, yeah, Screamer, you wouldn't necessarily feel like you were missing much, and that's what happens when you wreck.
Yeah, they try to do a lot more than just like Need for Speed.
Yeah, I mean we've got tilted road surfaces. There's just so much. I mean, saturated graphics. It looks very Sega-like, as you said. It's a lot like Daytona.
Yeah.
It's a shame that it doesn't work at all on Windows.
Shame that you don't know how to turn.
Well, I'm playing it with one hand through my capture card, which has a considerable amount of delay, which makes things a little bit fun. I will get used to it.
Oh.
Something happened with my steering. I can't seem to move. Uh-oh.
No, I think this is just your normal driving.
I'm not sure exactly what happened. I have damage. I'm using my older keyboard as well. I'm gonna blame the keyboard. That's what I'm gonna do. Anyway, what do you think of this? Did you play Screamer back in the day?
I didn't know about this game.
You didn't know
at
about
all.
this
You know,
game?
I was probably still playing Wacky Wheels at this point in my life.
Yeah, I think we were. You know what we were playing? We were playing the much ballyhooed NASCAR racing by Papyrus, which was a favorite of 3D Accelerator pack-in.
I mean,
I have to break.
NASCAR racing never ran very this smoothly. It was always just like a frame show.
Oh, and it never had the level of detail. I mean, look at all the environmental detail. It's crazy.
Yeah,
this is
the monorail.
amazing. Wait, what happens? Why did I go in the pit? Oh no, I lost. Okay. How did I already lose? Wow. I guess I didn't make it. If you're at any point in 10th, you're done when you cross the line.
Oh, replay.
Oh.
It's advanced.
Yeah. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
It's a really nice game. I just don't know why it didn't come to us. I guess it's the thing that should have been shareware, but somehow became a Virgin Interactive box
Virgin
game.
didn't do a lot of shareware, but we did get a demo of it here.
Yeah.
So, if you had to do your pick of the disc, I know. Here's your moment of zen. If you had to do your pick of the disc, I'm sure it would probably. Well, here's really the best game that there is, and that is Solitaire.
Oh, I thought you were going to do Full Tilt Pinball.
Okay, well that would also be good.
That was the best game of the decade. So.
Yeah, I would play the music videos on the Windows 95 CD, except we would get another copyright strike. So I guess we're not going to be doing that. So pick of the disc. What do you think? Solitaire? I think it's either
I like
Stonekeep
Screamer
or Screamer. You like Screamer?
I think I should give it. Obviously the Stonekeep is more of like a for effort kind of
Yes.
award. Like they employed many people. I'm sure. Those people did well for working with that. But just doesn't excite me that much. And Beavis and Butthead, I don't get it. It's like I get King of the Hill. I get Office Space. I
know a lot of people feel that way. I think you just kind of had to be there in the early 90s. But yeah, I don't think it's a form of humor that's really aged well. And so, to say the least. So yeah, I don't see the appeal. I would be happy. I want to give it to Stonekeep just for the effort. I keep on using the word charming. I will continue to use it. I think.
Why is everything painted gold? That's the thing.
It's just the first dungeon. I mean, come on, give them a break. Cut them
probably
some slack.
Another
they only
game
had
where
$5,095 to make this.
It's probably another game where the complete playthrough is less than an hour.
I
for
don't
a
think
$5 million budget.
It's probably not terribly long. I agree. I don't think it's a long playthrough. But an interesting game. Screamer, I think, gets an award for technical merit.
Yeah.
Really, for just software rendering, pulling off some really impressive visuals there. I was pretty blown away. I don't think we've seen anything at that level. I mean, it looks better than the 3D accelerated version of Moto Racer. So I'm excited to see where we're going now. Now we can finally put 1995 behind us and go into.
I was gonna say, is it possible not to have a pick of the disc? Like, there's so many games that we're still waiting to show up on the CD.
It's a little bit
Command and
frustrating.
Conquer, Warcraft 2 you mentioned. I want those.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited for those as well. And sadly, we're not even going to get Command & Conquer next month. We're going to get it, I believe, in February. But
what's next month? Tell me. What is it?
what's January's disc?
Yeah.
What's on it? What's the... I don't remember. It might
Can't deal with
be...
the suspense.
Well, if they're keeping with their approach to putting the graphics for next month's game on the sleeve, it'll be Star Control 3. But if they're not keeping with that, I don't know. I haven't even looked yet. We haven't... Things are going to change a lot from here on out. The PC Gamer CD is going to change format. It's going to have a Myst-like interface. They're going to introduce Coconut Monkey. The sort of stuff that you sort of associate with Golden Era PC Gamer is finally going to come about. We're leaving the Dark Ages now.
Duke should be coming out.
Duke Nukem 3D will be coming out.
I already saw an ad for Shadow Warrior.
Yep.
The magazine.
Yeah, so the Build Engine games, Quake, and then some really important developments on the technology side. We're finally going to see the first 3D accelerators that stick around for more than a few months. So I'm excited. I'm excited to play through those things. I hope you're excited too, viewers, of which there are now 126 of you. Again, if you have not subscribed, subscribe now, because in future episodes we're going to be giving away Windows 95 CD keys with naughty words in them to random subscribers as a bonus, unless that's a violation of the DMCA, and then we're totally not going to do that. We're not doing that at all in that case.
I mean, is Mod 7 something protected by the DMCA?
It's so trivial that I feel like it shouldn't receive DMCA protection. Alan is referring to the algorithms used to check the validity of Windows 95 CD keys. TLDR, it is trivial and humorous, actually. But we can talk about that another time. Do you have anything you want to sign off with, Alan?
I think you should put on the release to manufacturing gold Windows 95.
I should downgrade from OSR 2.5 to RTM.
Pull the you can't even load Explorer without it corrupting your graphics. Come on.
It is a bit sad. I might go back. We'll see. It's not a problem right now. I thought it might save me some headache. Yeah, I don't think it did. But my 133 Pentium is still humming along here, so I'm excited for us to dive into 1996 and see what it has to offer. It's going to be a big year. Thank you to everyone if you started with the podcast back in 1994 and you went all the way through 95 and you're about to enter 96 with us, thank you for coming along for the journey, for the ride. It's going to get better from here on out, which isn't to say that I think it's been bad so far, but we're entering a more golden era of PC gaming, which we're excited to share with you. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe. Check out our blog. Our blog. It's European. You wouldn't understand. Our blog, smuginplay.com. We're also on Instagram at smuginplay. That's pretty much all we got. Thanks again, and we'll see you all next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.